One of the conditions of award of research degrees, such as MPhil and PhD research degrees, is that the students need to produce a research thesis, and that research thesis should be based on a quality research process. And in order to ensure quality research thesis, it is important that the research theses are evaluated, and in that evaluation process, generally there is an internal part of it where the thesis is internally evaluated by an evaluation committee comprising the supervisor and other academics. And then there is an external evaluation where the thesis, after being successful in the internal evaluation, is sent for external evaluation or external examination. Generally, this is done by sending the thesis to academics in the field. Now, it is important that to ensure the quality evaluation of the thesis, the quality of the examiners or evaluators is extremely important. So, what are the qualities or characteristics that make thesis examiners or thesis evaluators good examiners or good evaluators? So, this is something that we will briefly respond to in this presentation. So, as we know that thesis evaluation is a serious undertaking, and the quality of the thesis evaluation plays a big role in the success of, you can say, of the whole student research process. So it's an important aspect of the quality assurance process of student research at the university level. So now there are certain characteristics that are important for thesis evaluators or examiners in order to be called good quality examiners, and to ensure the process of quality thesis evaluation. We can generally categorize these qualities into these three categories: the professional qualities, the academic qualities, and the personal qualities. Generally, on a professional level, we can say that the good quality thesis evaluators are people or experts who have good command on knowledge related to the particular area or expertise or scholarship in which they are actually evaluating the thesis. Secondly, they should have skills, which generally is a reflection of their experience in the process of thesis evaluation. And thirdly, they have aptitudes, certain aptitudes, which includes criticality, which includes open-mindedness, and which actually includes a scientific outlook on academic things. Now, the whole what, why, and how of the academic research process and product actually depends on the professionalism or the level of professionalism of the thesis examiners. So generally, these will include professional integrity and honesty on the part of the thesis examiner. So generally, good thesis examiners are people who are people of integrity and who stand for truthfulness and who stand for scholarship, and who stand for safeguarding the scientific endeavors of creation, of knowledge creation. Secondly, the second important characteristic is actually responsibility. So generally, thesis examiners or evaluators should be responsible people. And so they should take their tasks seriously, and they should do the process of thesis evaluation wholeheartedly, and they should apply their skills and knowledge and expertise when they are actually evaluating the thesis. Thirdly, rigor, very important. So the approach of the examiners should be rigorous. they should thoroughly review the thesis. They should thoroughly review its pluses and minuses, its strengths. They should highlight the strengths of the thesis. They should also highlight the possible weaknesses or areas for improvement. And they should do this through a rigorous process by completely involving, completely committing themselves to and devoting themselves to the process of thesis evaluation. And that actually means that they need to invest a good deal of time and energy, and they should have a scientific and a very systematic approach to evaluating the thesis. And lastly, uh, in the professional category, ethics is the ethical conduct of the researcher is very important. Ethics actually means that there are certain ethics that are involved in the process of research evaluation and the conduct of research. And the thesis evaluators need to ensure that those ethics values, such as the anonymity, confidentiality issues, um, such as looking for authenticity in the research process and product, and also for ensuring credibility in terms of the evaluation of their report. Now, the second category of qualities that good thesis examiners should have is relates to the academic side of it. So, generally, the research evaluators or thesis evaluators should have good knowledge, skills, and aptitudes in terms of the area or the academic area in which they are actually evaluating. So here, the most important thing that they should have is that they should have in-depth knowledge or detailed knowledge of the field of research or academic field in which they are working. So for example, if someone is working in educational psychology, if someone is an examiner of a particular area of educational psychology, such as for example, child psychology or adult psychology, they should have in-depth and detailed knowledge of that. Generally, specialization is important in the particular area in which they are evaluating thesis. So they should have a general knowledge related to research as a process of knowledge creation, but they also need to have specialization or at least in-depth understanding and knowledge and scholarship of the particular area of interest in which they are actually evaluating or offering their services as these evaluators. And lastly, personal qualities. This is something that is extremely important as well. Generally, thesis evaluators or examiners should be people who show integrity, not just in academic terms, but in generally in life as well, because after all, they are dealing with humans. So the supervisors and the students who have produced those theses are actually humans, and their interests and their rights should be taken care of. And here comes the role of the integrity, honesty, and truthfulness of the thesis examiners as personal qualities. Secondly, humanity. Again, they need to treat these people as, as humans who have who live under certain conditions, and they might have certain issues, and that they might have their context, their cultural context, and their academic context. So humanity and taking care of the rights of these scholars or students is something that's very important. Humility here, it actually means academic humility in the sense that in some cases the examiners need to be open to possibilities of new knowledge or to possibilities of maybe dialogue or discussion with colleagues in the areas that are represented in the thesis and that don't have adequate knowledge of. So in that case, they might just get assistance from others by accepting the limits of their own knowledge and scholarship and expertise. Then responsibility um, taking responsibility for this very important role, and that actually means taking their role as an examiner very seriously. And lastly, impartiality. The thesis examiners should be impartial, and they should be objective in their approach. They should not bring in their own biases, for example, methodological biases or knowledge biases, and they should evaluate the thesis with an open mind, with a scientific approach, with a rational approach, and with the required flexibility that is essential for this job.